out pro.
Woo! Happy Sunday, everybody.
Sunday, bloody Sunday. What's up? This is the Powdered Out Nation, and we're here to take the views, take the wrestling podcast on the internet over. We're ready to take blows and...
Yeah. Okay, so that was Michael Bolton, our one and only crazy Canadian. Then now we have remember, second week now, we have our good buddy Landfill.
What's going on, Powdered Out?
Plow, plow, plow.
Okay. Slow
What's going
roll.
on, Powdered Out? Once again, my name's Timmy, aka Landfill. Thank y'all for having me once again, Inebriated Records, and y'all two up there. Thank y'all for having me and to keep it going. I'm glad to be here. I'm happy to be here. Second week on here to push out this podcast, to take the wrestling podcast by storm. I don't know about y'all, but I've had a fabulous week preparing for this, just trying to get some thoughts together. So let's get things going. Up at the top, what you have for us today?
Yeah, we're going to start. So today, I'm going to say today is going to kind of be a fun one. We was going to have a interview today, but health issues came up. We're still going to talk about them a little bit. We got this week in wrestling, like always, and then we're going to now do we're going to do our dream WrestleManias. Each one of us is going to come up, and I've been watching some just time travel DC. It's cool shit. So I'm like, we can time travel, bring whoever we want, and any dimension, whatever your mind can think of.
WWE or WWF only?
Anything. Independent, your backyard Uncle Bob, I don't care.
Okay.
Do you think Uncle Bob versus the Big Show would make a good... Let's do it, because y'all know, honestly, this is kind of a tangent, but y'all know you have that uncle who is, I've at least had that uncle with the wrestling watch. I could do that. I could beat his ass. There's some, I bet you I could do that. I could get up there, and you're like, good luck, Jerry. You can barely get onto the bench without falling. So let's go with this week. This week in wrestling. Timmy, you started off. You had some things you said.
Well, this week, from what I've seen, we have got a couple things going on. In the WWE, they have picked their Survivor Series teams, pushing on to the Survivor Series pay-per-view. You got Raw and SmackDown teams, men and women's division. WWE also releases a couple more list of superstars. Keith Lee, he's gone. Nia Jax, she's gone.
He was too much of a bitch to be in WWE. I hate
honestly,
Keith Lee.
And I have to disagree with you that if they would have pushed Keith Lee the right way, he would have his wrestling abilities is some that we hadn't seen in a long time. He is a great performer, and if they would have pushed him the right way, he would have done great. He would have gone far. And just like we were talking about earlier with the King of the Ring situation, I'm just going to say this while I'm at it. I'm going to get on a roll here. I don't see why Xavier Woods got King of the Ring. They hadn't done nothing.
Because Xavier Woods is the best in the world, best in WWE. He can't beat nothing better than anyone in the roster. Xavier Woods, or go fuck yourself.
Whoa, man.
Xavier Woods has not done anything as of late to make him be pushed to that status. Granted, if they would have done something with him, period, to it, I could have seen the little push they would have gave him. But what would have made sense was like Keith Lee if Keith Lee would have got the King of the Ring, that would have been something. Because Keith Lee was former champion. He had 2 titles at one time. He had the NXT title and the North American title. That would have given him the King of the Ring, would have gave him the extra push because he had some background to him. Another thing that would have made sense was Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley just come off from having the World Heavyweight Championship. He lost it to gain him some more steam. If they would have gave him the King of the Ring, that would have gave him that extra push. I say they could have made a little more sense with it. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah.
The whole thing with Keith Lee is that he was so much better in the independents.
Well, what they did with him in NXT was great. How they started pushing him when they first put him on the main roster was great, and then they just creative lost sight of him, and that's what did Keith Lee in. I think
they did to Keith Lee what they did to
creative
Kevin
dropped
Steen.
the ball on Keith Lee, and I'll stick to that.
Well, do you remember what they did to Kevin Steen? They did the exact same thing to Kevin Lee.
They've done that to a lot of them. They do that to tons. We'll get more on those. Anything else that I'll say I haven't kept up a lot this week. I know I've seen a lot of still the rumors of, like I said, I see people wanting Seth versus Roman, that for Survivor Series of it or something. I saw something about Goldberg popping up.
Goldberg's in the picture there somewhere.
Yeah.
But speaking of, Seth and Roman, a third member of what used to be the Shield, which is now he's over in a different company. He's got a different name. It's Jon Moxley. Moxley is taking some time away from the screens for a while, away from wrestling. He has checked himself into rehab for alcohol treatment.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. I had my thoughts on that one.
As well, a hardcore legend, a ECW original, hangs up his boots and finally retires. Sabu officially retired.
Oh, yes. I did.
See, the whole thing with Sabu is he should have retired 7 years ago. He is done. Should have retired long time ago.
Well, you could say that about a lot of superstars that's still out there. But Sabu, he kept his rhythm up until the very last days that he's finally said, hey, I think my body's had enough, like Mick Foley did, like Ric Flair did, though Ric Flair still tried to hang around, but, he's finally been pushed out. I still think he's going to end up over on AEW eventually with his son-in-law kind of thing. But
why do they need to go to the point of getting brain damage to know their career is done, though? Can't they live for their family rather than fighting in the independents? It's like, you've done your time, live it, you paid your dues,
but
you made millions, give it up.
But it's the same thing, honestly. You see, and I see them now, even in the comedy world. I've seen these 40, 50 year veterans in there that are now back that I have some that's open for Adam Sandler, that's performed on BET, all these things, but now you're just seeing them pop at these open mics. Hell, and now with Zoom, I'm seeing them all pop on that. So I'm saying it's just when you have that love for something of a craft like that, you never want to give it up, because I see it now and I know you two, Timmy, for sure, probably with your promos, you have that. That's a love for it. When
you get that, that heart for something that, you had that desire and that push and that hunger for something that you love so much that you want to try to hang in there no matter where it is. Like Taz. Taz loves for wrestling. Taz decided that, hey, enough's enough. I can't push my body like I used to. My body is, it can't push like it used to. So he's commentating now. He's managing. He found a way to stay in it.
No.
Unlike some that still try to wrestle in their older age, you could see the ring rust in Goldberg when he comes in. If it's small matches, small spots, he can do it, but he can't push it the limit. Undertaker finally had to hang up his boots because he got to that limit. You know,
Yeah, that's what he said,
take
though, Michael.
take
That's
it
what he's
as
saying.
something that you like, Mr. Bolton. Dark Side of the Ring, Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit, the only job he ever had was wrestling. And
No,
he pushed it, he pushed it, he pushed it. He didn't know that his body had enough up until scans showed that his body had enough, his brain had enough. Nowadays,
true.
they have the medical technology to show and do what they need to do to try to take care of their bodies, try to take care of their well-being. And now you have to see these wrestlers take an early shelf life.
Okay,
Paige,
but take John Moxley.
Paige took a bad back and neck injury, and now what is she doing? She can't wrestle no more, so you don't see her out there no more. She finally said, "Hey, I can't do it no more, so let me move on."
Take John Moxley. Right now, Josh and Tim, I'm sorry, I'm going to enter the no hold bars part of Powdered Out Podcast. I'm sorry, I'm going to the deep abyss. Take John Moxley. He's going into alcohol rehab treatment, right? Isn't he going to lose his softness?
What do you mean, no?
What do I mean? You can't go to rehab and come out as a mean motherfucker as what you went into it. He's going into his rehab facility as hitting people with barbed wire bats, putting them through glass tables. You can't go to rehab after that knowing you can become not violent. I'm sorry.
No, he's gonna change, but don't you want him to change for a better? He's changing his life.
No.
And that means nothing, Mr. Bolton. Hold your roll. That means nothing. That is somebody taking the chance to better himself for him and his family, to get a hold of his alcohol abuse and be able to get back to a more sober living. That way he can still perform. You don't want him to come out being like a Scott Hall when it's too late and you done ruined your career.
Oh, no. He needs to get drunk, hit people with barbed wire beats.
We do not promote alcoholism on the Powder Out podcast. We do not promote just because you're a great comedian because you sniff Coke before the show. I do not say you need to go sniff Coke. Just because it makes them funny, it's bad for there. So, moving on though from the drug issues, let's go on to Michael had somebody he wanted to have as a guest tonight that we was, but something happened. So
yeah, a dear friend of mine. His name is Corporal Robinson. He has a lot of health issues going on. I am from the Great White North, the better country as I'm known as Canada, but the better country. We get like Corporal Robinson has. I don't want to miscommunicate anything. He's going to be on here to tell his health story and what's going on, so I don't really want to talk shit rather than it not be real.
Okay.
All we know at the time is that,
he had a seizure and it's not really good. We'll be putting his GoFundMe link in our episode title, right?
It'll be in the comments.
Our episode title is going to be Corporal Robinson's GoFundMe link, right?
It will be in the comments. We'll take care of that.
We're going to take care of that. We'll put it in the comments.
Yes.
And as far as all of us in the Powdered Out podcast, we do send out our best wishes and our prayers to Corporal Robinson as his health is, been on the decline. He's been fighting some health issues. A little bit of backstory
on Corporal Robinson. We love you.
Corporal Robinson, he come from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He was trained by Tracy Smothers, Ian Rotten, Jamie Dundee, Kelly Wolf. He debuted in 1996. He was a CCW World Heavyweight Champion, an Elite Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, Independent Wrestling Association in the Mid-South, twice Heavyweight Champion, Mid-South Deathmatch Champion twice, King of the Deathmatch for 2004 and 2007. He was an IWF Tag Team Champion. JCW, which is the Juggalo World Championship Wrestling.
Juggalo!
He was a four-time heavyweight champion.
Wait. There's a Juggalo World Champion?
Yes. You ain't never heard of JCW?
No, I have not.
Hold on, give me a second.
JC Dub.
Oh, we just
gang shit.
Oh,
I represent Whoop Whoop.
You represent ICP.
That's right. Four-time JCW World Heavyweight Champion. He was in Mid-American Wrestling. He was the heavyweight champion 2 times, tag team champion 1 time with Hardcore Craig. Pro Wrestling Unplugged, he was a hardcore champion twice, and Underground Empire Wrestling. He won the Sovereign of Slaughter tournament in 2015. What a list of accomplishments that Corbin Robinson had. This guy has been, I remember him from way back in the day, from when Deathmatch Wrestling had a video game back in the early 80s, 90s kind of thing.
Damn straight, I bought it on my fucking NES.
That's I had it back in the Gap. I love that game. So this guy, he was to me, he was one of the forefronts of why I love hardcore wrestling. I like Raven and all that, but he was one of the ones that I watched as well. I watched his, throughout his career, and knowing that he come from being a bodyguard for the ICP and stuff like that, to where he
No, Timmy. Okay. He was a bodyguard for ICP.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
So, but Michael, what I want to ask though is, how do you know him? You say he's like a good friend of it. Is he family, just friend?
I've known him for about maybe 5-6 years. My dad passed away of brain cancer, and it started from his liver. Nothing I want to talk about, because you guys don't know me about my personal life. But a lot of what's been going on in his life is going on with Corporal Robinson's life. And that's why I took an eye to Corporal Robinson. I really hope he gets better.
That's all we can.
Fuck cancer. Cancer's a bitch.
That's right. Corporal Robinson, if you get a whiff of this show, we thank you for what you do and what you've done in the wrestling community. And, like I said, once again, we extend our best wishes to you. So this guy here.
I know. My God, we're just watching you scream at this mic because you're going crazy. So I'm having to mute your ass, man. Like, you going nuts. So we'll give you your promo against cancer. Well, give me a second.
That's okay? Right. So now we've done a little time for Corporal Robinson, and we still hope to wish to have him on the show eventually.
Cancer.
That's right. Yeah. So what's next on our agenda?
Our next there is we're gonna go through homilies. We are doing we're gonna go through each of us just do our own what would be a dream WrestleMania. I say let's come up with 3 matches. What would be your 3 main events? They always try to have those like 3 different main events. And what would be your dream? Different match style, like be creative. I want to see what's in our minds of this. So, Timmy, we'll do 1 match each and go around because maybe we'll get ideas.
That sounds good to me. When I think of putting together matches, I think of similarities between the opponents. That way, they can their styles don't clash. So I took an indie wrestler and matched him with was a mainstream wrestler from the WWE. So, and if y'all hadn't seen anything from Sam Stackhouse, y'all have got to watch his stuff. This guy, he is, he's a heavy dude, pushing 400 pounds, but
Big man.
this dude's getting on the top ropes, doing backflips, flipping off of ladders, flipping outside the ring. I mean, this guy's doing stuff way above what you think he should do. Think of like
How
what
can the
Hugh
ring
Morris
hold him?
and early age Viscera was doing. Take that and times it by like 5 or 10. Sam Stackhouse is a guy that I want to see pushed somewhere on televised because I like watching his stuff. He's an independent wrestler. He's worked for GCW and others places as well. But I think if we put him with Keith Lee, because of Keith Lee's athletic ability, that would be a barn burners for sure. In the words of JR, it would tear down the house 100%.
Oh, I mean, when getting a big man going, that because there's rarely, I can't even think of another like one of those big men that can move like that of it. I mean, I love seeing, and then that versus like a smaller guy who can do oh man, that would be a good, I could see that. Michael,
There was a spot that he did where somebody did the Canadian Destroyer to him.
Ooh, yeah, that was epic.
What match type though? What match do you want him to do this barn burner in? And any belt on the line? Do you think they need to have a belt, or just do you think just a straight up this would be a good straight match?
Honestly, I think for this field of match, I think it just has to be a regular one-on-one singles match. And I think if these two guys, I would like to see a title in there. I would say about the North American title if they had that opportunity. Whether it's the NWA North American title or the WWE's North American title, it didn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. But both of them look good. But I really like the design and style of NWA's.
Oh man, yeah. Okay, Michael, what's your main event? What's one of them?
Hell in a Cell, Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy.
That's a good one. Haven't they done that?
Nope.
What was that?
Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy in a Hell in a Cell.
They've been in matches together, but never in a Hell in a Cell.
I think it would be cool to.
I love that. I've seen them both in Hell in a Cell matches.
It would have to be when a brother quits wrestling retirement and go to another profession, legal lawyers to say that that person has to quit. That person has to step away. If Jeff wins, Matt Hardy has to step away from professional wrestling at an all. New career, new life. Can't go by Matt Hardy, not a professional wrestler anymore.
Oh yeah, you want like a total and like nuke them there. So okay, well that I would enjoy that one. Mine is gonna be I like these different match types. I'm gonna do I'm gonna call this it's a King Kong match. We're gonna bring back Andre the Giant versus Big Show versus Ali. Isn't that his name? Kali, yes. We have those three of them, and they're gonna be on top of the WWE building. And they can have weapons, whatever they want, but it's a hardcore I quit match on the top of the WWE building at night, and it's going to be called the King Kong match.
How would you win the King Kong match?
It's an I quit.
What do you mean by that? You just can't have an I Quit match and call it a King Kong match.
Oh, I just calling it King Kong because it's big guys on top of a building.
Well, you can always add in a stipulation of grab the contract or something off the ladder.
They have to climb all the way up. Yeah,
Okay, I'll give you that, Josh. I'll give you that.
In a steel cage match, a regular steel cage match for the World Heavyweight Championship, Kenny Omega versus Randy Savage.
Oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. No. Why, you don't think? What's wrong, Randy?
Randy can't face Kenny. Kenny would destroy him.
I think it'd be a close match, but me being a fan of Randy Savage over Kenny Omega, I think it'd be the other way around. I think Randy Savage would have the upper hand there, but like I said, that'd be great personalities to put together.
That's what I'm saying. Like they would have. I feel like they would have the best build up. Like they would have that 2 months going back and forth. Because I loved Randy's promos. I mean,
dude,
who doesn't like that's a promo?
And then we talked about before behind the scenes about wrestlers and their music career. Randy Savage was a half-ass decent rapper.
Oh, fuck off! No, fuck
if y'all hadn't listened to it, look it up. He roasted the crap out of Hulk Hogan in one of his matches, in one of his songs. Look it up. Look it up on YouTube. Randy Savage. He had dropped several albums before he passed.
We'll share one.
Put Randy Savage up to Easy Eric Carini. Nothing.
And how he sounded in the ring with that, oh yeah, he sounded just like that with his songs. That's how he sounded. With that's how he talked.
Oh god.
Come on, if Randy Savage dropped a diss on Biggie Smalls, how do you think that would turn out for him? Not that good.
No, he's probably. I mean, there's a niche for like a wrestling rapper. There's a niche, but we're gonna keep.
Are you kidding me?
We're gonna keep rolling there, Michael. What's your match?
My second match would be Benoit versus Bulldog. British Bulldog.
It's not bad. I'm gonna go with now. It's I said it's my zombie match. This is gonna be for the title. The title's gonna be hanging on the top of the Punjabi prison, and the zombies are all gonna be like 50 jobbers, and the jobbers are allowed to interfere, climb up, do whatever, but they have to start outside of the cage while the others are inside of it. And I think the people I'm gonna put in there is I want to do I feel like this is kind of a classic that people would go, but I just want to do the legends of it. I want to do Stone Cold, Rock, Hogan, really the Rock and Stone Cold tag team versus Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
There you go. I do that for tag team titles in a zombie match.
I got a tag team for you. My tag team championship match would be a tornado style tag match with the Legion of Doom, Hulk and Animal.
Ooh.
Versus, I don't care what tag team put them against nowadays. Any of these tag teams you see nowadays, you can't hold a candle to what they used to have. So I'd put them against the Young Bucks. I would want to see them destroy them Young Bucks.
No.
What about Dudley's? I could see them.
Fuck the Dudleys. They're too outdated.
I think that would be a great match. The Dudleys and the the Legion of Doom. That would be a great match.
Because the
Young Bucks, they're too cocky. They think they're the best tag team that's ever lived. I want to see that. Make it a 3-way tornado style. The Young Bucks, the Dudleys, and the Legion of Doom, the
Four
Road Warriors.
Horsemen. So, well, okay.
Tonight's guest might be a little baby, if I may say. What's going on tonight? Can I check on my baby?
Okay, I'll go to my match there. If you want to say your last match, but I'll go.
It just fades on down.
I know, it just falls down, but I gotta that one I had to think. I want to see the when they were over in not now, but I can't remember what they were called. AJ Omega, Kenny Omega. What was their faction?
The Bullet Club.
The Bullet Club. Yes. I wanted to see the Bullet Club versus the classic Four Horsemen, you know. And I think just a straight, and that one would be one of those like all for one, but one for all kind of thing where they just all go at it.
Oh, you little bitch.
Did he just call his baby a bitch? On air, we just got her called his baby a bitch. Well, that's sweet.
If you were talking about factions, you take the NWO, whether it be the red and black or the white and black, you can put them both together. It don't matter the collaboration of each. You take them and put them against the Bullet Club, or you take the three factions. Because you got the Bullet Club that I'd love to see against the NWO, and I'd love to see the NWO go against the Aces and Eights.
Ooh. Okay, so that kind of leads me to something. This is kind of going to be where we're going to end everybody. I'm going to end. We're going to go and we're going to start next week. We're going to start. I want to make a. Why don't we do this with Legions? Where you why don't we do a from past there, like a tournament style of the different factions that there was? We'll come up with a list of all of them and let's make a bracket and we'll go through and discuss each match. How does that sound? Want to do a faction, future, present, even if they're not there?
100%.
Well, then we'll keep going with that. But we'll end the Sunday. Thank you all for watching the Powdered Out podcast.
Yeah, buddy. Give buzz.
And give your love out to Corporal Robinson.
Oh, yeah.
Thank y'all for
Corporal
joining us tonight.
Robinson, we love you.